Opening with the king's pawn controls the center and opens up the light-squared bishop and queen, often leading to sharp games. The Sicilian defense controls the d4 square with c-pawn. Knight f3 develops the knight toward the center to prepare for a d4 pawn push, where the knight will recapture if black captures on d4. d6 opens up the light-squared bishop and prevents white from pushing the pawn to e5 after black eventually plays knight f6. d4 offers to trade the d-pawn for the c-pawn, giving up a center pawn for more active pieces. C takes d4 gives black 2 central pawns versus 1 central pawn for white. Knight takes d4 recaptures the pawn and activates the knight in return for having 1 central pawn versus black's 2 central pawns. Knight f6 develops the knight toward the center and attacks the undefended e4 pawn. Knight c3 defends the e4 pawn and starts to develop on the queen side. a6 prepares the queenside pawn advance b7, b5, and also prevents white from playing the bishop or knight to b5. f3 supports the e4 pawn and controls the g4 square, but slightly weakens white's kingside. The bishop is ready to be developed to an active square. White develops the bishop and attacks the center. b5 gains space on the queenside and controls the c4 square. This threatens to kick a knight. Solid. Continuing with standard opening theory. The queen moves forward into the game. Solid choice in the opening. Developing the knight and increasing influence in the center. Castling queenside tends to be more active than kingside because the rook is closer to the center. Developing the bishop and increasing influence in the center. Textbook play so far. The pawns are advancing, aiming straight for the king. This move puts the knight on a safer square. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. This is the only good move. This defends the attacked knight. This offers to exchange pieces of equal value. This threatens to win a knight through a fork. This prevents the opponent from being able to win a knight through a fork. Now black can't stop white from winning a knight if they make the right moves. This threatens to tactically win a pawn. That knight was free for the taking. This threatens to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-on trades. This is the only move that works. This moves the knight to safety. This is the only good move. This defends the attacked pawn. This is a book move, meaning it follows established opening theory, played by top players for years. This allows the opponent to eventually win a pawn. This takes an outpost, a square where the knight cannot be kicked out by a pawn. This moves the queen to safety. This threatens to tactically win a pawn. This loses a pawn. This wins a pawn. This allows the capture of a rook to win material. Capturing that rook wins material. Recaptures. This wins time by threatening a rook and forcing it to move away. This takes an open file, a common method for activating a rook. Black develops further. This offers an equal trade of pieces. This defends the attacked queen. This is the strongest option. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. Takes back. This defends a bishop that was under attack and had no defenders. This is the only move that works. This is an equal trade. Recaptures. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. Very precise. This moves the pawn to safety. This misses an opportunity to take an open file with a rook. This permits the opponent to activate the king by getting it off of the back rank. White's bishop has moved to a square with greater activity and control. This takes an open file, a common method for activating a rook. The bishop now occupies a secure outpost. There were worse moves, but also something much better. Right on target. This is the strongest option. This isolates a pawn, which is a weakness. Takes back. The rook is now on an open file, which helps control squares across the board. This creates a pawn chain, linked pawns that form a strong structure. This activates the king in the endgame by getting it off of the back rank. This overlooks an opportunity to connect rooks. This permits the opponent to set up a blockade. This misses an opportunity to set up a blockade. This connects the rooks, which helps them work together. A solid choice. That's fine. This move puts the bishop on a safer square. There was only one good move there. Only one move worked there, and this wasn't it. There was only one good move there. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. This is a fair move. The bishop now occupies a secure outpost. This challenges the other rook for control of the open file. This moves the rook to safety. Very precise. Right on target. This is the strongest option. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. That's fine. This moves the bishop to a more active square, making it gain scope. A very strong play. One of the best moves. This takes an open file, a common method for activating a rook. This is a fair move. Very precise. Right on target. This permits the opponent to create a passed pawn. Recaptures. This gives away a free rook. This overlooks an opportunity to eventually win a pawn. That rook was free for the taking. This is the only good move, pushing a passed pawn. This is the only move that works. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. This threatens to eventually win material. This prevents the opponent from being able to eventually win material. The pawn reaches the back rank and promotes to a queen. This promotes a pawn to a queen. This defends the attacked pawn. This defends a pawn that was under attack and had no defenders. Now white can't stop black from winning a pawn if they make the right moves. The game was close to equal, but now black has the advantage. This is the only good move. This overlooks a better way to evade the check from the opposing queen. This is the strongest option. This steps away from the checking queen. This is not the right idea. This misses a better way to evade the check from the opposing queen. The piece finds a new active square. This overlooks a better way to evade the check from the opposing queen. Very precise. This evades the check from the queen. This continues down the road to checkmate. That pawn was free for the taking. This continues the checkmate threat. Now white can't stop black from winning a queen if they make the right moves. This allows the opponent to play checkmate. and the game is over.